Hey folks, I'm popping in today to share what I call a try this at home teaching tip. And this is going to be a series, I think. I'm going to do several of these over the next few months where I'm going to give you like a little homework assignment, a little idea to play with in your teaching, and then have you report back. Come back right below this video. Let me know how it went and what follow-up questions you have. I got the idea to do this from my teacher training that I teach, The Science of the Private Lesson. The people who take the online version are with me for 12 weeks, and every couple of weeks, they usually get a homework assignment, mostly based actually on their questions and what they're working on. So I pulled some of the ones that I'd given to my students recently, and I'm going to share condensed short versions with you here. So a little teaching tip, a little homework assignment that you go off, play with on your own in your own teaching, and then come back here and report back. Right below this video, let me know how it went and what questions you have. So here's today's try this at home. I want you, especially in your private teaching, to play with teaching non-traditional arc. So a traditional arc of a yoga class, we could say, kind of goes like this, where it starts energetically and physically kind of down here. Maybe you're lying down, maybe you're seated, you're doing a centering, you're doing some work to down-regulate the nervous system. And then it kind of starts to go up. Maybe you're on hands and knees, maybe you're working a little bit, then you come to standing, you're at the peak, there's some like peak standing work or other challenging poses before you energetically and physically come back down to seated and then eventually to lying down and rest. Just this really nice kind of classic arch. And I think that really works really well for many students, and it's a great framework for a group class. But in private lessons, I think one of the important things that we do is take the deep teachings of yoga and the profound benefits, emotional and physical, that are possible with a practice, and we make them really uniquely specialized. And we shift a little bit the way that we're teaching so that those deep teachings and those deep benefits really come through in a way that our student is able to absorb it and it's accessible for our student. You know, some people come into yoga and are so sort of wired and amped up that those first few minutes of seated centering don't have the intended benefit of down regulating and grounding, but it makes people feel more amped up. In a group class, there's not much you can do about that, right? Except give people options and make sure that people feel free to adjust as they need. But in a private lesson, you adjust as your student needs. So if somebody comes in to your lesson really wired, really amped up, it may not be of benefit to start energetically or physically down here. You may need to start them standing. And then very slowly over the course of the class, just go down, 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 down until they end in a little bit more of a down-regulated place, both sort of in their nervous system and also like literally with their physical body, so that you start them standing. Not challenging work, you prepare them and you warm up, but still energetically there's like a brightness to it. So you start them up and then you really slowly kind of make the way to hands and knees, make the way to seated, and you finish lying down. You could also do the opposite. I have several students that I do a lot of really deep therapeutic work with before we can even get them doing bigger movements. So with those people, I often start them lying down. And their arc sometimes looks like this, where we start lying down, and then it takes maybe half the class to get up to hands and knees. And then, you know, it's 3/4 of the way through, we're up to standing. And sometimes those people finish standing. There's lots of things to take into consideration when you're deciding what kind of arc to use with your students. Both what does their physical body need to be prepared, and then what kind of shift might be supportive and helpful in their nervous system. Do they need down regulating, or do they need to slowly kind of brighten up and up-regulate a little bit? You can also take into consideration the time of day. I have several clients that I teach really, really early in the morning. Those people I do often use just a straight kind of line from down, 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 and we finish standing, because that's what helps them be balanced and awake and integrated and ready to move out into the rest of their day. Maybe you teach late at night, and they come straight from work, all crazy town. Maybe those people you'd like to take in an arc like that. So I just want you to play with this idea. This is your try this at home teaching tip. Teach a non-traditional arc. If you always teach your private lessons energetically down here and then up here and then slowly back down, consider if that is the most beneficial and the most supportive for your student. It certainly might be, but there may be other students who, because of their muscular patterning and engagement, need more prep work before they make their way to standing, or because of the time of day, they need to finish standing, or because of their nervous system, they really need to start standing and they need a lot of help to be able to downregulate in a way that's comfortable emotionally. So just consider you don't have to do a traditional arc, and I'm giving you this homework assignment. Play with a non-traditional arc and let me know how it goes. And it also you don't always just have these three options where it's like a rainbow, straight up, or straight down. There could be variations of that where you start down, 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 you go up, 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 and then you come partway down. Maybe you end in a seated pose. Or there's endless variations. So your only homework assignment is to play with it, to look at your student and consider what will be most helpful for them in receiving the deep benefits that are possible, in having the deep teachings of yoga be made more accessible to them, and don't feel locked in to a traditional arc. So play with that. Let me know how it goes and what questions you have below, and I can do follow-up videos or maybe a whole podcast episode around this topic if you'd like. Bye for now.